Hey everyone, Rutter here. I am up on Picture Rock. I've been working up here for the last few weeks, just kind of tweaking some rock work down on the lower section, like towards the very bottom of the trail. Stuff that we kind of breezed through when we started a few years ago working on Picture Rock, and I want to come back and kind of put some more time and effort into tweaking some of the stuff here. So a few more booters, adding a little more rock armoring, clearing out some drains, adding some berms, that sort of thing. But the one section that everybody probably knows is that really rough kind of rock garden, kind of a half a mile up, maybe give or take, from the bottom. It's been eroding a lot in the last 2 or 3 seasons, to the point where the rocks are getting to the point where it's really hard to get over them. So going from an obstacle, or going from a feature to an obstacle, right? So we're trying to find that happy medium here on this trail, which it's an access trail by and large, and obviously a lot of people use it as an out back because it's fun, it's flowy, relatively even grades, averages about 6 to 8% the whole way. So it's a great trail for beginners, a great trail for intermediates, it's a great trail for people that are advanced, that want to ride a little bit faster, but really kind of ride the tightrope on a really narrow single track. So I'm going to flip it here and show some of the work for the rock garden, just kind of go over it. I have some stills that I'm going to add to this video when I post it, so you can kind of see the before and afters, but I thought having a video and just kind of talking through each little section might kind of help people understand like what my process was when I did this. So here we go. All right, coming up to this first little section here, if everyone remembers this is kind of the entry into that little rock garden. And I didn't really do much here, and then I kind of repurposed this rock here and made it was a little bit flat and kind of pushing people out. So I kind of outsloped it a little bit more, and then on this guy, chipped him off a little bit so you can kind of boof that one. Before it was kind of a square edge, like pretty vertical. And so that would have been a no-no to hit, but now you can at least hit it and bounce off of it if you come in a little wild. So it just gives you a little breathing room through this little section here. But also closing down the cheater lines here, you know, that was the easier line to go around the rocks. So we blocked those off, and that was actually a few years ago. So those have been there for a little while. But anyway, trying to just narrow this line and make people kind of move through the trail as it was meant to be ridden. So we'll keep walking up through here. Add another drain here just to get some more water off, to keep it from pooling in here. And that also helps with that transition, dropping down, berming this side a little bit more, dropping down, kind of transitioning, then coming back up into this rock work. And as we go up here, this guy, I've had this rock here for a few years, and there's a jump on the other side, which I'll show you. I don't know how many people really ride this. There's no tracks going into it that I saw. That's another alternative feature if you want to go high and over that side. And you still have this line going through here, and then I just kind of opened up this corner just a little bit more. So I chipped some of the rock out. There was a couple rocks in the tread, just to make that a little bit of an easier go around. We've tried rocking this in the past where we armored all of this, but they just basically started peeling out and got to the point where it just wasn't doing anything, and all that rock just got pulled off. So we're gonna go this route this time. And then here, I'm gonna flip the camera around. I had a little jump here. Most people weren't using it just because of how the trail was coming into it. And so I wanted to kind of repurpose that a little bit. So I've put a bigger rock so you can kind of get up and over this rock a little bit easier. And then you can run it out a little bit cleaner as you come out of here. So everything's been kind of cleaned out on this left side. So it's a little bit easier to kind of move through that next little section. And having that drop helps you transition and get back up to that little rock roller on the other side. So this was all reworked, should be pretty solid. Obviously add another drain here to make that a little bit better. And then coming back up here, this is a little bit more berm, this is a little bit wider. The old trail kind of came in right through here. I'm gonna pan out just a little bit more, there we go. So the old trail was kind of center line right through this area, popping over this, and there wasn't really a lot of room on this side, so I pushed everything out a little bit and just made a little bit more room, and that helps coming out of this corner and just kind of opening up that radius to be able to set up for that jump right behind me on the downhill side. So we'll go up here real quick and flip that. So now we can see coming in here a little bit wider. You can pop that, or you can go inside. Everybody I've watched today, I think other than one person, I think I've seen a dozen people today, everybody took this inside line going right through here and then around. So doing that little jog. No, I saw one guy take this line right over that little nub on that piece of bedrock. So nobody yet has used the little jump line there, or roll over. You can roll it too. It's definitely a more awkward one because that's obviously got a peaked top, but it's still rollable if you want to try that. So yeah, and then This guy, remember, there was a bunch of rocks kind of sitting in here, kind of awkward. It was getting really eroded because you were getting this, what we call surface tension erosion. So the water was flowing off the rock and then cutting out and scouring this section out. And it's just getting kind of weird. So I chipped a little bit of rock off this guy, a little bit of rock off there. You can see the tire marks on it where people had been hitting it, pedal strikes on this guy, and then added some rock arming through here. And then I had this little guy as a roll up and over right here if people want to try a little bit harder lines, so to go up and over that. Also chip that guy off a little bit too, and I think that'll help people come in a little bit wider through this line too. So we'll go up there and we'll talk about that real quick. So obviously another drain, and threw in another roller here just for a transition. There was a bunch of rock right in the middle of the trail right here, and you'll see in the pictures. And it was forcing people to go inside or outside. It seems like most of the climbers were coming up this way around the rock. People descending were going out wide out here and then coming down into it. So what I did is just sort of split the middle, pop those rocks out, and then widen, just push the trail out just a little bit this way. And now you can set up a little bit wider, drop in, and now you get a little more time to set up for that corner, that right-hander there. So I think that's gonna be a little bit easier for everybody. So dip here, drain, coming up over this rise, set up, drop back into the next one. I've built it so that you can roll up on this little angled rocks too, so you can, for the more advanced rider, can come in, pop off that guy, and then that opens up the radius in that turn too, so you can carry a little more speed and then get into that next little feature on the rock jump here on the corner. So for the more advanced rider, it's going to be a little bit faster, and you got more things to look forward to pop off of. For that sort of lower intermediate beginner rider, it's just a more comfortable ride. Still things to pop off of. It's still, these corridors are all still really tight, so I still expect some pedal strikes in here, but just gives a little more breathing room for people to move through this area. So that was kind of my goal, to try to provide something for everybody on this particular section. It's also kind of flat too, so on the downhill, if you start losing speed, you really lose a lot of momentum through here. So now you can carry a little more speed through this section, and should be a little bit more fun. So anyway, this was two and a half days worth of work, just me on this. So it was quite the project, and yeah, I think it turned out pretty well. So come up and check it out. Tell me what you think. Tell me if I missed something, if I should add anything else, but I'll just keep moving up the hill and tweaking a few things. There's a few little booters I want to add in farther up too. So those will be little Easter eggs you'll have to find down the road. All right, thanks for watching. See you next time.